do the same thing today. So you're going to need your math journal, a pencil, and that's probably about it, and a whiteboard and a marker. Alrighty, we are going to talk about long division with decimals, which if you remember in long division style, the decimals were always one of those things that they kind of avoided and they took them out, and then they still use their long division skills that you normally would. That is exactly what we are going to do today. First of all, we're going to do some mental math though. So I'm going to put a couple problems on the board, and I really want you to think about how you would round these or how you would estimate them so that you can do them in your head very easily and quickly. First one. Let's just say we want to take 799 and divide it by 4. Okay, so stop and think. How can we make both of these numbers so that you're easy to divide by each other? Well, first of all, let's just take the 4. The 4, we're just going to leave it for right now, because I want to see what my number I'm going to use right here, what that number is, to see if it's easy to divide by 4. So I'm going to write my new math sentence under here. Watch this. I'm going to round 799 up to 800 and still divide it by 4. I know that I can do this in my head. 800 divided by 4. Look at this. Here's my basic fact. 4 times 2 is 8, and then we have to add those 2 zeros. So I know that the answer to that problem would be super close to 200. Very close to 200. Okay, let's do another one where we're going to estimate. Let's do 5. Let's do 525. I'm going to write it this way this time. Divided by 5. Okay, well, you should be asking yourself, what should I round this number to? Take a peek at this number, look at our divisor, what we're going to divide it by. Is there a number right here that we could round this to make it super easy? Yes, I would say 500 divided by 5. I had $500 and I wanted to divide that between 5 people, one including myself. How many dollars would each person get? Each person would get $100. So always think about when you're doing long division, if something is super close that you can divide and you can do it in your head, just to see if your answer is really close. That's how we're kind of trying to do here today. I'm going to move over to the smart board right now. We are back. So you should be on page 270 of your math journal. Make sure you have a pencil handy and your whiteboard and marker. Here's what we're going to do. First of all, we're going to think about how we can make something easy to round so that we know that what our answer should be really close to. Janine is building a bookshelf. She has a board that is 3 7/500 meters long, 3.75. She wants to cut it into 5 pieces of equal length. What will be the length of each piece? Now look at this number. Think about $3.75. What would I round that to in order to get it to really easy to divide by 5? Well, I know that, boys and girls, I know that this is really close to 4. I see that, but my number that I wanted to divide by is 5. So I could either make this one a 4 and change this to a 4, or I can make that up to a 5. Either way, if I rounded either one of those, my answer would still be 1. Watch. If I changed that 3.75 to a 4, I'm going to round up. And I divided it by 4, I'm going to round down. Because dividing that by 5, I can't do that in my head. I want something that I could do in my head. I'm going to change this to 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. If I thought about it the other way, let's say if I wanted to round this up to 5, because this is 5, I'm still going to get an answer of 1. So I know my answer for this one, my quotient is going to be really close to 1. So if I get something like 1,845, I totally did it wrong and I know that. Let's get this one set up on our board. We are going to divide 3.75 divided by 5. So please get this set up on your board. Let me check my camera to make sure that you can see this. Yep, looks good. All right, first I'm going to divide 5 can go into 3 0 times. 0 times 5 is 0. We're just going to subtract. We're going to bring down like we normally would. Everything's the same. How many times can 5 go into 37? Well, I know that 5 times 5 is 25, so I have to go up from there. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 7 is 35. Let's use 7. 7 times 5 is 35. Subtract. Bring down. I have 25 left. How many times can 5 go into 25? You have 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Subtract, and you should have a remainder of 0. Now this is where we have to decide where our decimal point goes. If you set it up like I do, and you make sure that you have your columns lined up, one way to easily tell is you can just put the decimal point right up here. It goes right above where it's listed in that number. If you're not really sure, go back to your estimate. Is 75 cents or 0.75, is that really close to 1? Yes, absolutely, that is very close to 1. So I know that my answer should be pretty correct because I did an estimate beforehand. Let's see what they say. Yes, 0.75. Alrighty. Go ahead and erase. Start looking at number 2, reading that to yourself. See if you can figure it out, how that's going to be set up. 3 sisters set up a lemonade stand on Wednesday. They made $8.46. If they shared the money equally, how much did each girl get? Well, look at here. We have a 3. They're not trying to trick you. They're not saying 3 and somebody else. We have 3 sisters, and they made $8.46. Think really hard. What would be easier to divide by 3? If I rounded this to 8 like I should, or if I rounded it to 9? Which one would be easier to divide by 3? Well, 9 would be easy to divide by 3. So I know that $9 divided by 3 girls, I rounded this up to 9. I kept the 3 there because that's easy to divide. 9 divided by 3 is 6. So each girl is going to get about $6. When I do this problem, my answer should be super close to $6. Go ahead and get this set up on your boards. We're going to do the actual problem right now. 846 divided by 3. How many times can 3 go into 8? That would be dos. 2 times 3 is 6. We're going to subtract like we normally would. Bring down the 4. Divide again. How many times can 3 go into 24? That would be 8. 8 times 3 is 24. Subtract. Bring it down. How many times can 3 go into 6? That would be 2. 2 times 3 is 6. All right, we have a remainder of a 0 right here. That means we're done with our problem. We have 3 numbers on our dividend. We have 3 numbers in our quotient. We're done. Now we have to figure out where our decimal point goes. If you lined yours up like this, you can just put your decimal straight up. Okay, make sure your numbers are lined up though. If you're not sure, you can go back and think about what your estimate was. I remember that $9 divided by 3 was 3. So my answer would be $3. Let's try a couple spots. If I put my decimal right here, that would mean that each girl would get $282, which would be pretty fabulous for a lemonade stand. But that didn't work. If I put my decimal right here, that would mean each girl got $28.20, which would still be pretty fabulous, but that doesn't make sense with our estimate. If I put my decimal right here, that means each girl would get $2.82. And that makes a lot better sense with our estimate, which was $3. $2.82. Number 3. Smartboard's being kind of naughty today. Doesn't want to listen. Number 3. Ooh, this one's trying to trick you. Alex and his 3 friends went out to lunch. So that means there's 4 kids. Don't let that trick you. The total bill was, including tax and tip, was $42.52. They decided that each would pay the same amount. How much person did each pay? Or how much did each person pay? Let's look at our numbers. Alex and his 3 friends, that means there's 4 peeps. We're going to divide that into $42.52. Now think really hard. Do you think it would be easier to divide 40 divided by 4? Think about that. Or would it be 50 divided by 4? Well, I think 40 divided by 4 is easier. I can do that in my head because it ends in zeros. It is a multiple of 10. So 40 divided by 4. Remember, I'm just using rounded numbers here. 40 divided by 4 is 10. 10 times 4 is 40. So I know my answer, my quotient right here, should be really close to $10. Keeping in mind that our original estimate was 40 divided by 10, or 40 divided by 4, so that we know that our answer, our quotient, is going to be really close to $10 when we get done with this. So we're going to set this up like we normally would. We have 4 people right here. Don't let that try and trick you. 42.52 divided by 4. We'll worry about the decimal later. Divide like you normally would. How many times can 4 go into 4? 1. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract and bring it down. Okay, we talked about that 0 as a place value holder, and that's the case right here. Even though our remainder is less than our divisor, we know that we don't have all of the numbers above each of our numbers in our dividend, so we know that we're not done with this problem quite yet. We have to ask ourselves, can 4 go into 2? No, it cannot. 0 times 4 is 0. Subtract, bring it down. I have 25 left. How many times can 4 go into 25? Always start with the 5. 4 times 5 is 20. Not quite enough. Let's see if we can get another one. What's 4 times 6? Well, that's 24. That's closer to 25. Let's put our 6 up there. 4 times 6 is 24. Subtract, bring it down. I have 13 left. How many times can 4 go into 13? Well, I know that 4 times 5 is 20, so that's too much. Let's try 4 times 4. That's 16. That's too much. And 4 times 3 is 12. That would be perfect. So 4 times 3 is 12. We're going to subtract. Bring it down. Nothing to bring down. I see that my remainder is less than my divisor. I see that I have 4 numbers above my dividend, and my dividend also has 4 numbers, so that looks like we are finished. Now think about, where would your decimal go? My decimal would go, originally our estimate was about $10. So if we put it right here, that would be $1,063. If we put it right here, that would be $106. If we put it right here, that would be $10.63. That is perfect. $10.63. In this case, we don't worry about that remainder down there. Sometimes we do something with those and sometimes we don't. Go ahead and erase. Start looking at number 4 about Victor. First of all, let's do an estimate. Let's look at our 2 numbers. We have 98 and 4/10 and divided by 3. Well, I know that 98.4 is really close to 100. Problem is, dividing it by 3 is not super simple. But remember, this is just an estimate, so we want to get something that's kind of close. I'm going to change this 3 to a 4. Because I know that there are 4 quarters in the 100, and whenever I see that 100, think of 100 cents or $1. And if I see that 4, I always think of 25s. We need 4 quarters for $1. So I know that 100 divided by 4 is 25. 25 plus 25 plus 25 plus 25 plus 25 is 100. my answer, my quotient for this answer will be close to 25. Get this set up on your whiteboards. 98.4 divided by 3. And we will divide like we normally would. How many times can 3 go into 9? 9 divided by 3, well, that is 3, right on the money. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract. Bring it down. I have 8 left. How many times can 3 go into 8? Well, I know that 3 times 3 is 9, so that is too much. What about 3 times 2? That is 6. 3 times 2, 6. Subtract. Bring it down. I now have 24 left. How many times can 3 go into 24? Well, I always start at 5. 3 times 5 is 15. That is not even close. So I know it's got to be pretty high. Let's try 3 times 7. That's 21. Getting closer. Just for fun, let's think about what 3 times 8 is. 3 times 8 is 24, so we're going to use that. That's right on the money. 3 times 8 is 24. Subtract. Nothing left to bring down. Let's just check my dividend and my quotient. They both have, they both have 3 numbers, so I know that I'm finished there. My remainder is less than my divisor. I'm finished there. I know that my answer was going to be really close to 25. You could also use this trick. Go straight up right there. Let's look at our 25. Think about our 25. That was our quotient, or that was our estimate. Well, we divided 100 divided by 4. So if I put it right here, that would be $328. $328. If I put it right here, that would be $32.80. Remember, we can add zeros all day long to that, right? And it still will not change the number. So if I wanted to divide this string into 3 equal pieces, each piece would be 32 8/10 of a centimeter. And the answer. So let's look at the first one. 43.8 divided by 3. This is your actual correct answer without the decimal. So all we have to do is figure out where the decimal goes. Let's round this baby so that we know that it's something that's really easy to divide. So let's look. Let's round this to 40. And 3 is not easy to divide into 40. So let's change that to a 4, because I know that 40 divided by 4 is 10. So we're going to go right 40 divided by 4 is 10. My answer, my quotient, should be really close to 10. If I put my decimal point here, that would be 146. No way. If I put my decimal point here, that would be 14 6/10. 14 whole 6/10 of another one. That is close to 10. Done with that problem. Isn't this fun? Next one, number 6. Here's the actual correct answer, the correct quotient. Here's my problem right here. I'm going to, let's round this. I know that 298 92 is really close to $300. So I like to use dollars in this because it's so easy. $300 divided by 6. We're going to leave that. Because I know a little bit about my facts, and I know that 300 can be easily divided by 6. Watch this. Here's the basic fact. 30 divided by 6 is 5. Add that 0. Your answer is 50. So let's look at where we're going to put that decimal point in our quotient. If I did right here, that would be $4,982. That doesn't make sense. If I did it right here, that would be $498.20. That doesn't make sense. If I do it right here, that would be $49.82, which is darn close to our 50. Awesome. Number 7. Here's our quotient. We have to figure out where the decimal point is. Let's find something that's really close to and easy to divide. And I know all of you are thinking, well, we should round this to 6. But you know what? That's not easy to divide by 4. 7 is not easy to divide by 4. Remember, we're just getting an estimate so we can understand maybe where our decimal point should go instead of something that's totally off. I know that 8 is easy to divide by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2 because 2 times 4 is 8. So I know that my answer will become really close to 2. Let's look. If I put it right here, my gosh, that would be 1,615. If I put it right here, 161.5, too much. If I put it right here, that would be $16.15. We need something that's close to 2. If I put it right here, that would be 1 and 615 thousandths, which is between 1 and 2. So that is our answer. That's our quotient, 1.615. Last one. You're getting so good at these estimating skills. See if we can figure out what's going to be easy to divide by 5. Well, 400 is not easy to divide by 5. We always use whole numbers when we estimate first. But 500 is easy to divide by 5. 500 divided by 5 is 100. I know my answer is going to be really close to 100. So let's just see where we would put it. If I put it right here, that would be 87, right? Because I can add a 0 to that. Does that make sense? That totally makes sense. That's close to 100. 87 is close to 100. Let's just, for fun, put it right here. That doesn't make any sense because that would be 8 and 7/10. That would mean you only have 8 whole things. This means you have 87 whole and 7/10. Even funnier yet, if you put it right there, that would mean 87 hundredths, which would mean that you don't even have one full length or one full dollar. You don't even have a dollar. You have 87 cents. You have $8.70. You have $87. That is our math lesson for today. We are going to move on to math boxes. You may cross off page 271, the whole entire thing, and join me on 272 for math boxes. So you can cross off page 271, that whole thing. All right, number 1, you're going to calculate. Please do these with me. 10% of 90. Remember the trick for 10%. Take off a 0 or take off that last number. There is 10%, 9. 5%. Well, I know that I can do 10% by taking off that 0. But if I wanted to do 5%, isn't that half? So what is half of 14? That would be 7. This one, I'm going to give you these because there's kind of a cool trick that is hard for you to see if you're not in person. Number 2, you're going to insert parentheses to make each number sentence true. So go through and find anything that has a greater than or less than sign or an equal sign. Okay. Then you're going to look back at the sentence. Look at here. This side says 30. So see if you can try and make that side say 30. You have 2 options. You can go around the 6 and the 4 or the 6 and the 3. Next one, you have 18 on this side. I want to try to get this whole side to say 18. Okay, this side has 3 numbers. I noticed that this side only has 2 numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply those. 20 times 100, 2 times 1 is 2, and add 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I want to get this side to say something is going to be greater than 2,000. This side has to be greater than 2,000. Last one, letter D. I want to get this side to say 14. So remember, you can try the 56 and the 7 first and then subtract 3, or you can do the 7 and the 3 first and take 57 divided by whatever that number is. Number 3. Complete the table with equivalent names. I have a feeling that you're getting really super good at this by now. Remember, if we can get that number on the bottom, the denominator, to say 100, that is where we want the money. That's the business. The only one that I see up here that might give you some trouble is this one, 3/5. But think about, if you got 3 out of 5 on an AR test, what percent did you get? It's happened to all of us, believe me. You got 0.6. You still passed. Think about what the percent will be for that. Oh, look at number 4, long division style. Awesome, 268 divided by 12. I'll get that set up. Again, please don't use your calculator. if you have a decimal here as your quotient, I will be able to tell if you used a calculator or not. Number 5. What is the area of the parallelogram? Area equals base times height. Give me that number model. And then number 6 is study the figure, draw the other half along the vertical line of symmetry. This is okay. You can go ahead and do this in your book, but it will not be on the Google Classroom assignment. So that's just for fun. Let's see how we would do this. So I'd have to draw that other half. And look at how this one's kind of long. And then we got a little short guy in there, short and fat. And then we got a longer guy. And then we got a shorter fat guy. And then we got a long guy and another long guy. Oops. And I forgot the really long guy. Whoopsie. You guys are way better than that. You know that. That is your math lesson for today. I hope you have a great day. Call me if you have any questions.